Hi everyone, Danny Beardsley here. Thanks for checking this out. It's time to answer some questions. I remember the exact moment when I become completely obsessed with music and it set me on this path. And that was hearing Bohemian Rhapsody for the very first time, and it completely blew my mind. It still blows my mind listening to that song today. And I got a guitar when I was 9, a nylon strum guitar at Christmas, and I did not know what to do with the thing, obviously. And I had some lessons and with multiple teachers over the years, and I still keep in touch with some of them, which is lovely. So I was never really focused on the reading side of things. It was always about how things sound and how can I get that sound in my hands, basically. And I think in turn, because I was focusing more on the sound and how can I do that, there was a lot of kind of experimenting, and you stumble across different sounds, loads of mistakes, but they were good mistakes because it helped me try and develop some sort of sound. And like trying to develop your own voice on an instrument is like the ultimate goal. And alongside that is creating music for others to listen to and enjoy, and being able to express myself that's the backbone of what I do with music. So it feels it's like a very natural process for me now, and it has been for a very, very long time, and it's very, very enjoyable. It's very rewarding, and it's absolutely magical how it's just endless. There's no end goal, there's no rules, it's just me, a guitar, pen and paper, and just write, create, and see what comes out. So I'm bound to forget some sort of influences in this because there's so many, but definitely Queen kick-started it all, like I said. I used to listen to a lot of Whitesnake, Peter Frampton, Thin Lizzy, Eric Johnson, Steve Vai, Big Wreck, like my all-time favourite band, Incubus, Creed, even Nickelback. I used to listen to a lot of Nickelback, Van Halen, and then there's been a lot of recent kind of technical, heavy sort of music, Periphery, Tesseract, all that kind of stuff. Between the Buried and Me. But I don't think it stops there. I think whatever you listen to, you are what you eat with music. I think it's listen to as much as you can, and it's going to have some sort of impact on what you write, because you need to be able to hear it in the first place to be able to create it. I think that's my theory anyway. So, but yeah, I still feel influenced by every artist out there in some sort of way. Well, I can only describe it as like two worlds colliding. So what I mean by that is this world where you lead your day-to-day life listening to your favourite bands, trying to learn an instrument, whether you're going to school or at college, or doing your day job, and then you have this break to go to this magical festival with all your friends and meet new people in this field full of energy. And then for that to collide and be backstage and surrounded by people from this like realm of rock and roll giants, people that you've idolised for years, it's kind of surreal, very surreal. And when we were on the stage, from where I stood, it looked like the tent was full. The crowd they were on our side. They were chanting the band name, cheering, and it was so heartwarming. It was so moving, and it's something I would cherish for the rest of my life. It was truly magical, and I really hope I get to experience that again at some point. But if not, once was enough. It was just wicked, and to experience it with your friends as well. Friends in the band. it's such a great experience, you know. So yeah, that's the best way I can describe it, really. So I definitely cannot take credit for the idea. That was all my wife's idea, and to be honest, all the good ideas come from my wife. It just normally takes me time to listen. But once we got through that, the hard part was trying to pick out the right song. And I'm quite obsessive. I think it's in my nature. I couldn't just stop with one song. You know, I was like, well, if I'm going to do it, I'm doing the whole album. And luckily, it fell at the time when it was lockdown, so it was useful being stuck at home, really. So it was very challenging in different ways. I felt very exposed because it was the focus, to me, felt like it shifted a lot more onto the vocal and the lyrics. There was no big heavy guitars and screaming guitar solos to hide behind anymore, which I definitely, it's like a shield for me as a musician. So, but I'm glad I've done it, and I hope that everyone enjoys listening to it and takes something from it. Wilt away, what it's about, and I'm certain a lot of people can relate to this. It's about anxiety, it's about depression, and it's about wrestling with that inner voice. You know, battling with a constant thought process that you just can't get out of. You know, this kind of cycle. You go round and round. You have to kind of reason with yourself. And it's very isolating, you know. And of course, I'm not ashamed to say I'm speaking from experience here. It's not a nice place to be at all. And I think until you experience it, you don't really understand it. Because I think it's one of those kind of things that if you don't see it, then it's not there, but it's not true. The songwriting process for me has changed through the years, and I think it's because you're kind of new to it. So you start out writing riffs, you start experimenting what chords fall in line, and based on that riff, you might be able to work out a chorus, then a verse, piece them all together. Oh, I need a middle, then does it need a lead line? And that kind of process I used for several years. And then I think once you start introducing lyrics and vocals, that process gets, you know, shaken up a little bit. Blood from a Stone, the music was written first and then the lyrics were added afterwards. So that's one challenge in itself, because you have to kind of piece them together that way round, you know, make things fit, make them make sense. Then in between that, it was kind of returned back to just writing the music for you know, Emperor Chung, and then Parallax that's a completely different writing process. That's just loads of wacky ideas, throw them in a pot and see how we can get from A to Z. My new album, the album which I've finished writing, so I'm going to start recording this. Well, we're in the middle of it, recording it now. This one I started with the lyrics, and I wanted to make sure the lyrics were my best yet, and I feel like they are. I feel like I've, you know, feel very proud of these lyrics. I've got a lot more to say. So I suppose you experience more in life, so you have more to say. And then I've always got like a back catalogue of riffs and ideas, and, you know, chord structures, chord progressions, and then just pieced it together that way. So I'm really liking that songwriting process, especially with my stuff. I mean, that's not really relevant with Parallax because there's no lyrics, there's no vocals. But for my music, I think I'm going to stick with that kind of formula. You know, focus on the lyrics first and make sure they're nice and solid and I'm comfortable with them, and they resonate basically. But I don't think there's a right or wrong way at all, and that's the beauty of music. You know, it's there's no rules, there's no limits, there's no end game at all. It's just about creating and seeing what ends up on that blank canvas. So both projects have a completely different approach to writing, and I thoroughly enjoyed both of them. So the thing that I love with my solo stuff is I just lock myself in my home studio and right away, you know, I just create, I say what I want to say, and create all the parts, and then I kind of pass out the parts that I can't actually play for others to play. And luckily enough for me, it's Ben and Dave, Ben Edis, Dave Wright from the Parallax Method, and you know, first and foremost, we're such close friends. And on top of that, they're incredible, inspiring musicians that, you know, it's just an absolute pleasure, and I feel so lucky to have them in my life, you know, to be able to create music together. It kind of takes a lot of I don't even have to think about my solo stuff, passing bass parts to Ben and drum parts to Dave. They just crack on and do it, you know, and it's really nice. But on the other hand, in Parallax, we all contribute to the writing, and I absolutely love that too, because, you know, I couldn't have one and not have the other, you know, being kind of pushed around a little bit is thoroughly enjoyable in the creative process. You know, like if somebody's willing to pull me up over a chord that I choose and suggest something different, then wicked. You know, I like that in the Parallax. My solo stuff, I like being able to just crack on and do what I want to do. And it keeps things fresh, and it keeps things really enjoyable. And yeah, I just feel very lucky that I've got both to be able to create with. We've got a debut album completely written. The bass and guitars are all completely recorded. I think drums are 2/3 done. It's just taken a lot longer than we thought it would. And you know, life has kind of thrown some curveballs at us, and we've had to readjust some priorities, that's all. And on behalf of the band, I'd like to apologise for the fans for, you know, keeping you waiting. And it's just one of those things, you know. We still absolutely love the band. We've got no plans on ending it anytime soon. It's just priorities have shifted slightly, that's all. The band was formed with the intention of being a fun, creative outlet. You know, that band was never ever supposed to leave the rehearsal space. We were never even going to record. That was never the plan. It just kind of organically developed that way. And I'm so glad it did. You know, we've achieved so much. We've had so many great opportunities and great reviews and things like that, which we never dreamed would happen at all. You know, and we didn't realise there was an audience out there that kind of like this bizarre, strange music. But we get a real kick out of it. It's such a fun, creative process. It's absolutely wonderful. We have so many laughs creating the music, and yeah, thanks to everyone who supported us. Yeah, we've got lots of new music. It's just when it's been released, I can't actually give a date because I just don't know. But when it's ready, it's ready. And when that day comes, well, I'm super excited for when that day comes. Can't wait for you to hear it. Yes, very much so. I am definitely planning on some sort of tour, live shows. I've been preparing like crazy during lockdown, you know, really working on my craft, trying to develop my voice and get comfortable with the live performance, working on my tone, and, you know, developing my technique, and, you know, just really gearing up for getting back out there playing live shows, because I miss it so much. And you know, every musician on the planet is feeling that right now. So I think we're all going to come out of this lockdown being more creative and more keen to perform, you know, and enjoying that side of music. Because whilst it's not been there, it's been horrid. I can't wait to get out there and play for some people, make some new friends, meet some people. First thoughts before I go on stage are usually to do with my own ability. You know, can I remember these parts? And if I'm singing, oh, my voice, am I going to be able to hit that note? Or can I remember the words? You know, it's definitely heavily self-doubt based. And then when we leave the stage, it's usually trying to remember all the parts that might not have gone the way I wanted it to, or it's focusing on the most effective way to get the car to the venue to load it up with the least amount of distance to carry all the heavy equipment. £1 million today. Well, I would absolutely love to get a beautiful camper van, pack everything up and the family, drive around the coast, have a lovely holiday and just discuss further what we'd do. But in reality, my wife would have the last say anyway, so. Well, personally, what I'd like to do is something we've been doing for a while, is meeting up with our friends at a place called Woollerton Park, where Batman was filmed. Take a picnic, just all catch up and have a good mingle. It's been too long, and I definitely miss all my friends. That'd be really nice. Just have a good catch up, a good laugh. Favourite food has probably got to be pizza. I could eat pizza every single day. Love it.
I'm giving in, we're giving up. There's nothing left for me to say.